And you guys, most shops wouldn't have done this. And just like that, we went ahead and finished the base. Yo, what is up you guys? Welcome back to another vlog. So in today's episode, we are going to be going over the door handles to the Toyota Supra. These specifically are actually going to be pretty tricky. As you guys can see, we have the door handle and then we have the base to wrap as well. Just to remove the door handle from the base was actually a pain in the ass. It took me about an hour to figure out. I just didn't want to damage anything. But anyways, I saved the passenger side for you guys, so this way I can pretty much show the whole process from beginning to end. So we're going to be starting by removing the door handle from the base. We have to grind off or sand off the bottom of the rivet, and then from there we're able to pull the pin out and we're able to pull the door handle out. So I'm gonna set you guys up in a different angle and let's get started. Alright guys, so we're going to be taking off or grinding off this little rivet right here. So I'm going to end up doing a time lapse on this one because this is probably gonna take me a little bit. I just want to be very careful to where I don't damage anything like this. It's all metal, but I just want to be careful. So anyways, let's get it. So now that I have the pin out, there's a spring right here that I actually have to remove from it. So we're gonna pull it out, right? There we go. Now that this comes out, our door handle should be released. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright guys, so now that we have the door handle separated, we're going to go ahead and remove the rubber seal from the main of the door. So now that we have this removed, we're going to go ahead and clean all of the dirt and grease where the rubber seal was sitting. And we're also going to go ahead and clean all of the grease where the door handle actually opens and goes back in as well right there. But with that being said, I'm going to set you guys up and we're going to go ahead and clean all of the door handles. Alright guys, so first things first, we want to make sure that the surface of our area is really clean. So we're going to grab our alcohol and we're going to be cleaning all around where all the grease is and where the door handle sat. And then we're going to be cleaning everything behind the door handle as well. You guys can see how much grease there is already. And a lot of it is actually paint that's lifting, so we might have some issues. Now we don't have to take the vinyl all the way in there, just because the way the door handle sits, it sits really flush. So we just got to make sure maybe about a 1/4 inch or so is covered. And the way that I like to get all the grease inside of here is what I'll do is I'll grab like a little flathead or screwdriver, and then we're just going to go ahead and clean the edges. You guys can see all of that grease was just from the inside of the door handle. So what I'm going to do is clean everything around here where the rubber trim actually goes, and this is just going to allow me to just know that the surface of the area is clean because this is where the vinyl is actually going to be holding on to. Not going to worry too much just because this is where the rubber trim goes, so I really only want the vinyl to stick around this lip. So that's really the only main area that I'm making sure is super clean. Because other than that, the rubber trim sits flush with these dots or with these little pinholes, and basically the rubber trim we just snap right in, so it sits really flush. And you do want to make sure you clean inside here just because there is debris, so when you put the vinyl in, it'll go ahead and actually attract the debris from the hole. Now on this door handle, you guys can see we do have some little chippings, so we are going to be very careful around this. I don't want to lift up the vinyl because there's always a possibility that the paint might lift, which is something we definitely do not want. And last but not least, we're going to clean around where the keyhole is. Now this isn't that big of a recess, so we're able to go ahead and get this done in one piece. If it was really deep like other door handles, I would just put an inlay in here. You guys can see we have more paint liftage. So as I said, we want to be very careful. We want to go ahead and not pick up the vinyl. We just want to pick it up as less as possible. So now that the both door handles are clean, we're going to go ahead and clean the surface of our area. Since we're going to be working on the desk, we want to make sure everywhere around the desk is nice and clean. We'll be putting this rubber trim over here with the mirror so we don't lose that. And we're going to be wrapping on this board. So first things first, we're going to be wrapping the door handle. What is that? Yeah, we're going to be wrapping the door handle. So we will be putting an inlay on the door handle. You guys can see the body line, and this is where your fingers actually go to grip onto it. So we'll be putting a piece of knifeless tape along this body line and ending it probably around right here. When you guys do inlays, it's all really personal preference. Everybody wraps differently. But with this specific door handle, you guys will be able to see how I do it. So I'll end up putting an inlay right here, and then we'll put the main piece over it, so this way we can cover our inlay. And then from there, we will be wrapping the base of the door handle in one piece. So no type of inlays. We might put an inlay in here just to be safe, so this way when the door handle actually goes in, it doesn't scrape or anything like that. So we don't want to tear the vinyl. You guys can see there is room, so we will be putting a piece of vinyl in there, just so this way when it opens up, there's no red exposed. But that being said, let's start it. So now what I'm going to do is cut my piece of knifeless tape off of the actual roll. This just helps me lay the vinyl, or helps me lay the knifeless tape where I want it. And the knifeless tape that I'm using is design line, meaning that I'm able to actually curve the knifeless tape. Most knifeless tape is a straight edge, meaning that you're not able to curve it, and if you do, the actual string that pulls the knifeless tape will go ahead and venture off to somewhere where you do not want it. So you always want to make sure you know where your first knifeless tape is, just because if you pull the second one first, you'll actually cross over into your first one and you'll cut the knifeless tape, which is something you don't want. Alright guys, so I just laid the knifeless tape on the door handle. As you guys can see, it does follow the body line as I was talking about and curves up. And same thing for this side. So this is going to be our first inlay right here. And then from there we'll go ahead and lay our other knifeless tape once this inlay is done. And then we'll go ahead and lay the main piece. And I'm working my way in this little recess area just so that this way there's no type of stretch whatsoever. And door handles, mirrors, all of the smaller stuff is always the trickier stuff in vinyl wrap, so don't be too hard on yourself. This does take a little bit to master. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting off the extra vinyl that we don't need. There we go. And you guys can see it does a nice clean cut. Now we're just going to be doing the same for this side. And I have more knifeless tape left on this side. I should have done it on the other side. Probably would have made my life easy. And you're just gonna fold it over. I'll hold it on the door handle. We're just gonna pull it just like that. Now from here, we're able to go ahead and pull the rest of it. Now I have these special tools. These are called micro squeegees. And basically what these allow you to do is it's literally just a micro squeegee. So it's got a smaller squeegee at the end and a bigger one at the other end. So now from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the vinyl. Actually, I'm gonna heat it up. I'm just gonna make sure that the vinyl is wrapped around that edge. Now that we went ahead and secured all of the edges, we're able to go ahead and give it a cut. I'm just gonna go ahead and break my blade so I don't run into any issues. This one's a little dull. As I said, you guys don't want to stress it enough. Always make sure you guys have fresh blades. You guys do not want to cut into the customer's paint. Alright, so now that we have our knifeless tape on the laid on the bottom of the inlay, we're going to go ahead and lay our main piece. So I'm going to trim out a piece really quickly, and we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. Alright guys, so the easiest way for me to wrap door handle is on the edge of a table, and I'll show you guys exactly why. So I have my piece cut out right here. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lock it in at the edge of this table. So now what this is going to allow me to do is grab my heat gun. And before I even heat it up, I'm going to end up heating this up. And then I'll grab my door handle. Now the way that we want to start the door handle is at the edge. So right here. So now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to hold the door handle up from underneath the vinyl, locking it at that edge. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this door handle up. So you guys will go ahead and see how I'm able to do that. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, lock it in at that edge and give it a slight stretch up, and bam. Now I'm definitely going to have more than enough to cover. So I'm again going to lock it in between this wrinkle. From here I'm able to hold the bottom of the door handle, and we're going to get this crease out real quick. Alright, now that we have the top of the door handle done, we're going to go ahead and heat up the sides, and we're going to go ahead and give it a slight stretch pull, or a slight pull towards me, and we're going to go ahead and start pulling this vinyl around it. So now that we have this side done, we're going to go ahead and add heat to this side, and we're going to start working this side. Alright guys, so now that we have both sides done, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to set you guys up at a different angle so you guys can see me go ahead and finish the rest of it. Alright guys, so now that the top of the door handle is done, we're able to see our knifeless tape, and we're able to see how much we actually need to cover. So what I'm going to end up doing right here is I'm just going to cut maybe a 1/4 inch in between the door handles, just so that this way I can flap it over, pull my knifeless tape, and then from there, once I pull the knifeless tape, everything will be nice and consistent with the straight line. So I'll end up doing this side first. I do have a fresh blade, you guys, so now from here I can watch in the middle and see exactly where I'm cutting. Alright guys, so now that we have this side done, I'm actually going to end up pulling the knifeless tape. So our knifeless tape comes right there. So what I'm going to end up doing is slicing this up, so this way it has a path to follow. And boom, can't even tell that there's a seam there. So now that this side's done, I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the other side. So now you guys can see how it's lifting right here. It's kind of like butterflying out. What I'm going to end up doing, since I already know that I'm covering the knifeless tape, I'm just going to make a relief cut right here. And what that relief cut's going to allow me to do is just push the rest of the vinyl down, just like that. So that this way when I pull the knifeless tape, I'm not going to have any issues with it either losing track or even possibly cutting out into the door handle, which is something that I don't want. Okay, and just like that, we have the side of the door handle wrapped on both sides. You guys can see, nice and clean with the inlay. Can't even really tell. So now, next on this door handle is to go ahead and trim all of the edges. Same thing with this corner. So we're going to be adding heat, and then from there, it's really just grabbing our micro squeegee and working everything in until it's wrapped around that lip. And that corner's looking perfect. Nothing's lifting, nothing like that. So now that this side's done, we're able to go ahead and work this edge. You guys can see the knifeless tape is kind of a pain in the ass, just if you guys leave it around. So you want to make sure the area of your surface is clean, just so that this way the vinyl doesn't attract any of the debris or any of the remaining knifeless tape. Alright guys, so something like this on this edge, we're going to be wrapping it maybe about a 1/4 inch or so, and then from there we'll go ahead and put an inlay if we need it. So I'm just going to add some heat, but I will be trimming off quite a bit of it because I don't need any of this. So now I see a lot of shops that will actually go ahead and pretty much make a relief cut right here at this edge out, and another one right here. And what that's going to allow them to do is pretty much flap the middle down and flap these sides over. So something like that, to me, I just don't like it. You're able to do it, especially in this situation since it covers inside of here, but we're just not going to. So as I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure there's a nice clean cut. I'm gonna add some heat. And we're gonna go ahead and start off with this corner edge. So slight pull, and then from there, we're just gonna be working it around. And you guys, most shops wouldn't have done this. They actually would have wrapped the door handle on the car. And to me, that's just laziness, you guys. Meaning that, I mean, yeah, I could have wrapped the door handle on, but then I would have had a seam right here, another seam right here. I probably would have had to end up seaming this side. And then just to wrap with the door handle on and making sure that it sticks up is just gonna be a pain in the ass, so. It's fine. And just like that, we have our door handle finished. Everything's nice and consistent. So now that this piece is done, we're going to go ahead and wrap the base. The base will be done in one piece. If I'm not able to get it done in one piece, what I'll end up doing, I think I can, because I'm just going to start it off from here. I'll lift up the vinyl, work it right here, make a relief cut, and then I'll stretch it over this door handle piece right here. But at least that's what I'm thinking. If not, then we'll go ahead and have to figure out a different way. But the main goal is just to go ahead and wrap with as less tension as possible, meaning that I'm going to have to trim it inside here and put another piece. I'm debating if I am, because I know that the door handle goes in and it's going to cover it. I'm not sure yet. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give it one final wipe down, and let's start it. Alright guys, so I already went ahead and trimmed out my main piece. The door handle itself, or the door base, is already nice and clean. You guys can see we do have 2 scratches where the paint is, or where the paint's messing up. So now from here, I think what we're going to end up doing, this one's going to be pretty tricky. So I think I'm probably going to wrap this very similar to the door handle, and I'm honestly thinking I'm able to push all the air out from here, make like a little circle, and then from here will already be glass, so we'll just be heating up the edges, making sure everything's nice and inside these little indentions. Same thing with right here, and then from there we'll cut a little hole and push our finger through and wrap the inside. So let's see how this goes. If we mess up, we mess up. I have more than enough vinyl to redo it, but wrapping door handles like this is always going to be a trial and error. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we're going to start just like the door handle, right at this edge. And now from here, we're going to go ahead and give it a pull, just like that. So like I said, I want to lift as less as possible because I know that there's paint lifting right here. Alright guys, so I have the base of the door handle done. Now the hardest part is going to be getting everything to feed inside of here. So let's go ahead and heat it up. We're going to go ahead and push it out. Now I already know I'm going to get creases right here, but it's not that big of a deal because I know I can get the creases out through here. So our main issue is going to be here in the middle of the door handle. And I have to act quick because I don't want to get any type of adhesive lines, although that this material is very hard to get them with. So now I just need my blade, this way I'm ready. Where'd my blade tag go? On the floor. Ah. Alright, so now what we're going to do now is we're going to end up reheating this. Pull as much creases out, and we're going to work it from the inside. So from within here. Just like that. No, I got a crease. Shit. Alright you guys, it was tricky but we got it. I'm not out of the hole yet. Still have a couple things I need to do. and bam, we're able to go ahead and do this successfully. So we got maybe about a 1/4 inch or so down inside there. And then you guys can see we have pretty good coverage up here. I'll end up trimming it out just so this way it looks cleaner. And then I'll probably end up putting an inlay just to be safe. Just so this way I don't put the door handles together and then realize that there's red showing and I have to take them back apart. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pretty much tuck all of the edges and corners, cut everything, and then from there we'll go ahead and work this side. Alright, so I got a little air pocket right here, so I'm going to have to lift it up a little bit. I just want to be very careful because I already cut it. Alright guys, so now that we have both the sides done and all the edges, we're going to go ahead and do the keyhole real quick. So this one is a little bit tricky since there is quite a bit of stretch right here. There's actually not that much stretch because I did re-shrink everything. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little X, just like that. Heat it up. And then from here we're just going to be working that edge. And just like that, we went ahead and finished the base. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end up cleaning this up really quickly. I'll put it inlay, and then from there we'll go ahead and put the door handle in and see how it looks. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this vlog. Door handle is fully wrapped, nice and consistent. A lot of you guys have been requesting this video, so if you guys found it helpful, be sure to smash that thumbs up. And stay tuned for the next video. Next one we're going to be covering the Toyota Supra mirror. And yeah, so with that being said, you guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.